Claudia Monroe. Thought losing everything would happen the day she almost died. But she was wrong. The hardest part came 3 months later. She was sitting in a dark car across the street from her own house, watching her husband live like nothing had happened. He was standing on her balcony, drinking champagne, smiling, and spending the money he received after everyone believed she was gone. And he was not alone. A woman stepped beside him. At first, Claudia thought it was just another secret. Another betrayal. But when the woman turned toward the light, Claudia froze. She recognized the necklace around her neck. It had belonged to her mother. And in that moment, Claudia knew this was much bigger than she ever imagined. For 6 years, Claudia believed she had the kind of marriage people admired. Daniel James Monroe was thoughtful. He remembered birthdays. He brought her coffee. He always knew the right thing to say. To everyone around them, they looked happy. And for a long time, Claudia believed they were. She had built a successful architecture company in Chicago. She owned the house, the business, the investments. Daniel always smiled and said, "You built this life. I am just lucky to be part of it." Now, watching him from across the street, Claudia finally understood. Daniel had never loved her. He loved what her life could give him. 3 months earlier, Daniel suggested a quiet weekend away. No phones. No meetings. No interruptions. Just the two of them. A private lake in northern Michigan. Claudia almost said no. Something felt off. Daniel had been distant. Too many late nights. Too many quiet dinners. Too many smiles that felt forced. But she wanted to believe they could fix things. So she went. And that choice changed everything. Late that night, a storm covered the road. Rain hit the windshield so hard, Claudia could barely see. Daniel said almost nothing. Then he pulled the SUV to the side of the road. Claudia looked at him. "Daniel, what are you doing?" He turned slowly. And for the first time in 6 years, she saw nothing in his face. Then he quietly said, "I'm sorry." A second later, the SUV went over the edge. When Claudia opened her eyes, she was underwater. Cold. Disoriented. Fighting to breathe. The vehicle was sinking. Daniel was gone. Somehow, she pulled herself free, and made it to the shore. Just before sunrise, an older woman named Amelia Hayes found her. Amelia lived alone near the lake. She brought Claudia inside and helped her recover. For weeks, Claudia stayed hidden. Broken ribs. A fractured wrist. A scar she would never forget. But none of that compared to what she saw on the news. Daniel was smiling. Standing beside attorneys. Accepting the insurance payout. $4.2 million. And beside him, the same woman. Always close. But never fully visible. Claudia kept staring at the screen. Something about her felt familiar. But she could not understand why. Then things got worse. Daniel had already transferred ownership of Claudia's home. Her business shares were gone. Even her accounts had changed. And the property records listed a new name. C. Bennett. Claudia did not recognize it. But something about that name stayed with her. That was the moment. She stopped feeling afraid. And started making a plan. She could have gone to the police. But first, she wanted the truth. And she wanted Daniel to feel what she felt. So she started quietly. His credit card stopped working. His investment accounts disappeared. The home security system started turning on by itself. In the middle of the night. Then every television in the house lit up at once. Only 4 words appeared. "Did you miss me?" For the first time, Daniel looked shaken, and Claudia watched it all from across the street. Then one night, Claudia returned to her old office. Inside Daniel's private safe, she found documents. Insurance papers. Transfers. Signatures. And one old photograph. Claudia stared at it. It showed two young girls. One was Claudia. The other was wearing her mother's necklace. Claudia turned the photo over. Written on the back were 4 words. Claudia and Claire. Summer 2003. Claudia could barely breathe. The woman in the house was not a stranger. It was her sister. The sister she had spent years trying to find, the sister she thought she had lost forever. And somehow, Daniel had found her first. That truth hurt more than everything else. Daniel's betrayal was painful. But Claire Bennett felt personal. Claudia needed answers. So she sent one message. Meet me where it happened. The cliff. Daniel arrived first. Then the second car pulled up. The woman stepped out. And finally, Claire stood in the open. Then Claudia stepped from the shadows. Alive. Daniel stepped back in shock. Claire could not speak. The wind moved around them, as silence filled the night. Then Claire whispered, Claudia. Claudia looked at her and asked the only question that mattered. How could you do this? Claire started crying. You had everything. Claudia shook her head. I spent years looking for you. Claire looked down. I needed money. Claudia stared at her. Then she quietly said, you only had to ask. Before anyone could say another word, police lights filled the road. Because Claudia had recorded everything. The fraud. The lies. The truth. Daniel lost everything. Claire did too. And Claudia finally got her life back. Her home. Her company. Her future. But some betrayals never fully leave. Because sometimes, the deepest pain does not come from the person you love. Sometimes, it comes from the person who shares your blood. What would you have done? If you were in Claudia's place, would you walk away, or make them face the truth? Tell me in the comments. And subscribe for more stories, where every secret comes with a price.